Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a reading. I I had an interesting dream last night. I feel like I saw an animal that I've never seen before. Um, it kind of looked like a mole combined with an otter, and I was tending to it and um, almost like walking it around like if you're walking a dog, but I was kind of just taking care of it and um, I thought it was one of those cute animals, so um, I also sensed you could take this for whatever you want to take it for. I felt like there was like a psychic energy or psychic connection, and sometimes I would get that. And the being comes out differently than I suppose what you would see in the regular human world, but I felt like a gentle energy of kind of like as if somebody was patting your head and in like an endearing way. And thinking about the animal, I feel like this is gonna be maybe like a circle of friends reading. It kind of reminds me, it's different, but there's this one time I watched a movie and the plot stuck with me, or part of the movie stuck with me, because it was so specific. And it was like, so there is this person and she's blind, but she's like in, it was almost modern and like in a modern world or present world. And the town was like secluded or hidden somehow in a forest, and it was kind of stuck in like colonial times or like something that was not as developed in that world, because I don't know if she had other things going on, but she was told to go outside of the town, and she went. um I feel like this was a serious movie, but she went outside of the town, and I feel like there was directions of going near the wall. And I don't know if highways are like this in other countries. I feel like when I'm telling you this description, it sounds wild, but um, Google thought it was wild too, because I tried searching this whole movie and then I felt like, well, Google said that they couldn't find it, like what I was talking about. It was like, girl, like, what are you on? What are you talking about? And all these years, it's just stuck with me. So she gets to the wall, and the wall is like one of those walls that you would see outside a highway. I don't think it was either not a busy time because there was just like a cop there. Just there was like a doorway because they have doorways for the highway walls. Um, and she goes outside the doorway and she's carrying like this pocket watch, and as like a exchange or to barter, she's like, please accept this and help me. And then she gives like the cop the pocket watch. And that was like the scene. And I don't even know like what I was watching. It was just kind of random because I mean, I'm not like a movie watcher. And I kind of do this like audiobook thing. It's not like that much of an audiobook, but because you see the images of like the corresponding pages, and sometimes they're like comics, and then they do like the telltaling. Um, and I thought that that's nice because there's this one time I watched this movie and I was so like taken aback by the ending because it was out of all the endings it could have been. And I just invested a lot of my binge watching time in it. And after that, I just wanted the synopsis of these movies or shows or books. So, cards are falling. It's also raining out, or it was raining out. I couldn't really see it that well because the blinds were up, but, or not blinds, like the door, the sliding door things that are, I don't know if they're, I'm not thinking about it right now. But the sky was purple. Now, and I'm wearing one of my sweaters, or crop sweaters. I wasn't sure how well, my hair's covering it for the most part, but I feel like it would change the video, but it's my autumn lark one, and I'm surprised it's not really changing the lighting that much in this, but maybe if I like just show the sweater, it is gonna adjust it, but um, just to say, I could have gotten another skein of yarn because I was working on, I mean, I can wear all my sweaters in the winter, but this one I wanted to use around that time. And um, because it's going to be a really warm one. I feel like there's energy of other people trusting your judgment because I've mentioned in other videos of living with intention. The Empress is at the bottom of the deck too. And it can be like maternal instinct because when you're specific about the things that you do and your actions and the people that you let in, and it's one of those long term or the way that you live your life, if you come across like a person, I would say person, but it could be other things in your life that maybe you didn't accept for a specific reason. It may not be so specific. It could have been sensing that the character that you sensed in them was not um wasn't a good thing for you. And it could be other things that like maybe it's behind closed doors. Like if somebody said something to you or did something and there might have been a chance that you didn't even say what happened between the two of you. I feel like there's other people might say that there's something with the way that you carry things out in life that there has to be a specific, or maybe not that specific, maybe they feel like you can sense those types of things, that there might have been like a bad egg in the batch of eggs. And it's almost as if like karma carries itself out. Like you don't have to get back at them or sabotage things or sometimes, depending on the situation, you'll say what happened to make sure that it doesn't go as far as what happened and there's justice in that, or um, to make sure that other people don't get hurt by what this person does. It would depend, but there is that instinctual energy that comes out of it. And I feel like the time comes when things start to unfold and your hands can be clean, even when you feel like your hands have blood up to your elbows. Um, Sometimes it's, well, in the human world, it's not normally black and white. It's good the future. You have the Four of Fire, the Four of Wands. So, contentment, peace and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. It's the minor arcana, but it's celebrating the small things in life, and I'm happy that this comes up in this type of reading where I feel like I've said it like a win is a win, and when you have a win, you could celebrate it because it's yours. And with the future for the Glory to Ukraine tarot, you have the Hanged Man. Now this is Major Arcana, and for this one, I'm feeling like it's hiatus. That's the main word that I'm getting. that there there could be a chance of kind of having your hands tied, but then having other people be of assistance to you. And I feel like there is more aid that comes along to where it is a little bit of a breather because you have the Four of Fire, the Four of Wands. And I feel like it's a good future card. I do these readings pretty frequently, and fire being there, I feel like there will be some type of warmth that comes in the winter time. Um, so I feel like that could be telltaling. I've said that word a couple times, and I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly. Sorry, there's just like a, a song that came in my head, and I was like, what does that have to do with this reading? Because it has to do with like relationships, and it can be more of like in a political way too, since I said it would be more the Circle of Friends reading. Yeah, I got some cards to go with it. It's a specific type of song, and it's like, don't go chasing waterfalls, just stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. It's like a it refers to relationships, and I honestly don't know the depth of that song, to be honest, but I know the song. And I was asking about it, and I got the Six of Pentacles. There's a lot of Pentacle energy with this interaction, and I was actually in my mind thinking about um, doing like the president type of reading, but not our president. I guess it can have to do with our president, to be honest, but because you have the Six of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles. It can be slow with following through because of the way that Pentacles energy moves. And there's a lot of, when you have to fill out like forms, like government forms, and then it's just like a process in the meantime, it kind of feels like that energy. And it's giving a little and saving a little. It's kind of taking what you can. Um, it sounds not great about taking what you can get, but this is actually like a shamanic figure that's in this Four of Pentacles, which is interesting because when you think of Four of Pentacles, it's not really like that type of energy, and when you think of Pentacles in general, it's not really that type of energy. I would say I would link it a lot with enterprise and those types of interactions and resources in dealing with how to make money. And it does feel like there is that incoming in like the influx of those resources, and the Four of Pentacles does really hold on to those resources, and it's not one that lets it go. So if there is some type of agreement with something or somebody, it feels as if it's not something that you could just sever easily. It seems like more contractual than something that you could just like break off immediately, especially with Pentacles, which I feel is a nice foundation because you have 4 and 4. You have the Four of Fire, the Four of Wands for the future, and you have the Four of Pentacles that describes what I was feeling because you have the Two of Coins, the Two of Pentacles, and other Pentacle energy. So there's a lot of that here that's going on. Also, with that, you have the Joker card, which is the Fool card. Part of the Major Arcana, that's like the character of the Major Arcana. It's the Fool's journey. It's telling about his or her life. Um, I feel like this is more of an interaction, and it is the Joker talks about that outward interaction. So if you're thinking about the main person of this reading, it's who they're. I was getting adjusting, so there might be adjustments, which isn't surprising when you see the Two of Pentacles, because with the Two of Pentacles, it's kind of like if you're trying to come up with some type of agreement, it doesn't look like it's happening as if everyone's agreeing with exactly what one side is saying or what the other side is saying. It does seem like there's going back and forth to see what terms and what can be adjusted. I feel like the one of the main words that I'm getting is like adjustment. And then you have the Page of Pentacles with the Star card. I think the Star card, there's a lot of major arcana here. And I remember I kind of do like, I don't know if I would call it dream hopping, or I would do like traveling. I would call it traveling, where I would travel a lot, especially in the dream state. It is traveling in this mind specifically, and it was just so effortless to get into this mind. It was actually surprising. Um, I got a little flash of when I would, if and when I would do it this time around, and I did it a little earlier, and that was more when I was awake, so it's kind of different. And I usually see things when I close my eyes instead of when I have them open. And it when I close my eyes, it doesn't have to be when I'm sleeping. And with that, I was getting like a bleakness. And it wasn't just because my eyes were closed, but there was a sense of darkness because before I did have like the sensory of as if I was entering like a house that had its door unlocked. And then there was like various types of characters as if there was like this main or the person that was like sitting at the table of like the mind in the dream state, and then there was like these specific type of characters that were surrounding this person at the dinner table in the kitchen, or it looked like that's what was happening, and was just like taunting this person. But then when um I did it this time around, there was like a sense of bleakness. So there's the Page of Pentacles with the Star card that also goes with the Two of Pentacles, the Two of Coins. So it does feel like there's energy of like readying something, almost as if because you see like a person on a horse, there is a preparation, I would say with the Knights, it kind of feels like readying troops type of energy, but this seems earlier stages because pages are, it depends on what the reading is, but it can be seen as more adolescence with it. But the beginning stages seem promising with the star card. The star card really uplifts it, and it's something to look forward to. And even with the Empress card from the Slavic Legends Tarot, you see that the light is beaming on the womb as if something will come out of it and something will be born out of this type of alliance. I'm just curious of why it's so dark. Because it's not nothing. It's interesting. You have, it feels like energy that clashes because you have fire and water, because you have the Queen of Wands with the Queen of Cups. Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire, and then Queen of Cups, Queen of Water. And with that interaction, it's almost as if the words that it's coming out is like the sun doesn't know that it needs the moon, and vice versa. Because, scientifically, through darkness there is light. And you have another Hanged Man card too that comes out. I feel like there's energy that holds the figure in the suspension state. Um, and since there's a lot of branches there, it kind of feels like what can you do when you're in suspension? And how are you even thinking? Because when you're thinking in that type of state, um, is it more euphoric? Is it because everything's like rushing to your head, so you can't stay in that state for long? The Four of Cups is the present card from the Glory to Ukraine Tarot. And it kind of reminds me of like the nursery rhyme, Ring Around the Rosie. I think that's I think that's what it is. Because that's based off of like dark times in history, even though it's like a children's type of nursery rhyme. And it does feel like children growing up in those types of conditions. And it does feel like it would be energy that you would try to seek a way out of that because the Four of Cups is And it's a card that isn't happy with how things are, but for some reason I was saying original plot, but in the original or Rider-Waite-Smith version at least, there's a person that's sitting near a tree and you see a tree again, except that tree is giving some sustenance. It's giving like shade at the very least. There's an American book called The Giving Tree. It's a children's book, and the tree continues to give until it has nothing else to give, until it's just like a tree stump. So it like gives apples, it gives shade, um, it gives its own life, basically, but it's still there. So then who holds this hanged man? Unless the hanged man is hoping that it'll be saved, which could be obvious to some. The obstacle is the Ace of Pentacles and the Hermit. As with government affairs, and as people know, with the Ace of Pentacles, it feels like actually getting this started. I mean, you have the Two of Coins, the Two of Pentacles, so there is something that's already there, but it doesn't feel like it's completely set in stone until the future. But you have the Star, and the Star is really promising, even with the Joker card, because the Joker card has a person, or it has a mask on it. So it's hard to see the intentions of this Joker figure or archetype. And based off of this type of energy, when you think about the Fool can have certain attributes if it's not in like the most upright. But then again, the Fool, I feel like, can be in any direction because it's just one of those wild energies that exists because it is unpredictable. It can be a card or a person that's not super cautious about the surroundings around about people. It might be so free that it gets itself or himself or herself into trouble, um, or it doesn't think as clearly. The Joker or the Fool does have, I would say, friends in dark places. That's what was specifically coming up. And um, it's kind of like if you know, you know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who could do this and maybe can do it quietly and could do it without hesitation, um, without other people knowing. I feel like there is almost not a complete intentional blindness, but with the Joker card and this archetype, it feels like there's that connection of a hopefulness that the person isn't going to be so carefree or so erratic that it gets others into certain businesses or trades or situations that other people really don't want to have to deal with. Um, for some reason, the word that was coming up was laundering. I don't feel like it's this specific person, but I feel like with this Joker card, again, it's one of the unpredictable energies of tarot. Um, there's a guardian that comes with the Fool card. I feel like that's one of those gifts of the Fool card that you could go on this journey, or this person can go on their um over the head journey. Sometimes I feel like it's energy that there are situations and instances that kind of just go over somebody's head, and there is that type of unknowing too, or being oblivious to their surroundings. I feel like that's one of the main things with this Fool card. Um, but the Fool knows money, since the word that was coming out specifically was laundering. And I'm not saying um, that the person for this reading is doing that. I feel like it has to do with the interaction with this other person, what they have or might be doing, I don't know, in, well, behind closed doors. And with the Ace of Pentacles and the Hermit, as I said, with the obstacle, the Hermit actually goes with the Page of Pentacles. They're both Virgo energy. There is a productiveness that comes out of it. It almost feels like an introduction to, even though it might not completely align. Like if you're thinking about the seasons of like maybe September going into October, like when you think about like starting October, that's when like those types of energies or times of the year that really are distinctive, like those middle in between types of areas or towards the end. Um, I feel like you have a feel of like where you separate certain seasons, even though they don't completely align with those dates or um, the way that you see them. So it's like a transitional energy. And I feel like there is adjustment that comes with the Two of Pentacles. And again, it is like fire and ice, fire and water. I was getting fire and ice. So in the past, you have the High Priestess. And the wall is there. It kind of reminds me what I was saying in the beginning about that movie. As if you already know, or this person already knew that they were going to need to go out of their way to make certain things, like those types of alliances, and be in those areas where it's good to put yourself out there and say what you are and what you do. And there is like something reputable about that, because there are certain things that people know about other people that it's kind of stuck on their character. And of course, it's always good to know a person aside from their what they're seen as by other people. But with that sensory in the beginning, I feel like more than one person can sense the the needs of what other opponents have done. and it seems like it's behind closed doors, and it's definitely not behind closed doors because you can blatantly see it. So, how to overcome the obstacle is the Ace of Cups with the Ace of Swords. There's a lot of beginning energy here, and the Three of Pentacles. So there's a lot of energy of like trying to, it seems like putting the minds together, and it doesn't seem like they're all coming from like the same background or the same source, the not the same major. There's something that's just this, it feels like an interaction where you have to learn how this alliance can move forward without just crumbling. Um, Even if you see differences or incompatibility in the background checks of things, um, there is a sense of moving on that chessboard. And there's just, it feels like energy where one steps on another person's shadow. And what highlights it when I said that was the Joker card. It was almost as if like the card was smiling at me. Sometimes I see with certain images uh, that I've had that as if like it's there's like a being or a sign that it just kind of looks back at me like that. Because with the Three of Pentacles, there's a distinct shadow here. And I feel like it's as if somebody steps on somebody else's shadow. And I was getting that with the Hanged Man. There's something that really holds this person in this specific area or in the position that they're in. And I feel like there's also trying to get events that unfold. And there's a lot of waiting that comes out of this too. It looks like I might have to charge my laptop. But the other cards, the two aces, you have the Ace of Cups with the Ace of Swords. I feel like with this Ace of Cups, there's a lot of. Oh, sorry, that's the swords. With this, the swords, I'm sorry. I feel like maybe they're really tightly close, like bonded together because I keep like switching them. The Ace of Cups right here is, there feels like a sympathetic type of energy that comes out of it. And I feel like that's a way that kind of gets the conversation going with the swords. The swords can be a communicative type, it is like that type of suit. And it is really trying to clear those clouds to make sure that everybody knows what type of agreement that they're in. And I just keep looking at like this the Joker card, and it's been happening this past couple of moments that it's almost as if it smiles like back at me, as if um oh my God, for that specific for this specific reading, it's almost as if like there's a specific smile that the US president gives, and it's kind of like I feel like that's this message that I'm getting out of that. Like it just seems so direct, and it links to this Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. The obstacle for the Angel Tarot, you have the Seven of Earth, the Seven of Pentacles with the Six of Fire, the Six of Wands. So the Seven of Pentacles, seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. And then victory. Good news, it's on its way. Public recognition or rewards. I feel like these are really promising cards, especially with the Circle of Friends reading and thinking, honestly, I have to see. Uh, I don't know the name off the top of my head. Because the waiting is with the Seven of Pentacles and yeah, my charge. Sorry, 1 second. So the Oracle card, I'm sorry, the Six of Pentacles and I'm sorry, the Seven of Pentacles, since I said Six of Pentacles, it could link to the Seven of Pentacles. It can be impressionable and kind of planning out your moves and maybe putting something out there for something later for it to grow in the future. So, kind of seeds to be planted as if you did something to make sure maybe another person or it unfolds in a certain way. I feel like with the Six of Wands, it's like energy where it gets, it's like the right direction. But with the Oracle, it's you are safe. Archangel Michael, I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. That's also the future energy too, because I did pull out the same amount for like if I were to do a spread with the Oracle cards too. How to overcome the obstacle is Empress card. So you have the Empress again. Archangel Gabriel, lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. And it has Archangel Gabriel. There's certain, like, there's different depictions of certain beings, and um, they would say, like, Archangel Gabriel is kind of like God's right hand person in a way. So it's almost like saying as if for some reason it was like that's your boy or your comrade and you can't just leave them hanging. Like you have to just stick with them. That's kind of the energy it gives too. It's like a person that um can help with a situation or actually following through, almost obligation in a way too. I don't know. I feel like there's like a rule where if another country is, I mean, I don't know, is in danger or at war or in conflict, I feel like there is that assistance that comes with it too. I don't know what you would call that, but I'm pretty sure that exists. And um, you could say if it does, in my head, it exists. So you have leadership and passion. These are the corresponding present energies from the Archangel Oracle. Archangel Gabriel again. It is time for you to assume your leadership, power, and position and lovingly guide others, which is interesting for this type of reading since it's the kind of like a presidential reading. And then It's passion. Archangel Haniel, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. So this can be um, not running or staying and following through with things. So, but at the same time, it's like, how can you run because you have the Hanged Man twice in this reading? So it's almost as if life kind of forces you to deal with it. And I feel like that's what the Four of Cups is in the present too, where it was like when things get so horrible, you can't just keep sweeping it under the rug. It has to be dealt with. And with the Four of Cups there, it really does feel like divine because, again, with the Rider Waite Smith interpretation, it has a person under a tree. They're given there are three other cups, and then there's a fourth cup that is just like out of the fucking air, and it's like coming from a cloud, and it's larger, and it's more evident than the other cups, and somehow this person just misses that cup. It kind of gives, or it can give the impression that it's like a divine cup or a divine opportunity. If you could just see, like, you kind of just have to open your eyes to that. I feel like it's coming to terms with it because, like, you can't stay in this hanged man position. It just is impossible for humans to be in that position for forever. So you have obstacle chakra clearing, Archangel Metatron, call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. So that the trouble of fixing things from the Four of Cups. But I feel like there does feel like there's an energy that flips it with some of the downward energy that was there or that is there right now. You have the overall energies. You have the Fool card again with the Dreamer, Archangel Metatron, the Leap of Faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities with the Chariot. This feels like specific and directly saying that it's going in the direction that is, I would say, the upper hand in that way. Archangel Metatron comes out twice because both these cards are Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self discipline, and willpower, public recognition. So there's something that does get recognized in that way. So that's good because there's so many Pentacle cards. I feel like there's something that just wants to make this concrete as it can be. Then you have the Queen of Air, the Queen of Swords, independent, experienced, realistic, witty, objective decision making, clear away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. This was the past. And it looks like it's like looking at a crystal ball, even though this is the air suit and it's not I mean you can in a way, but it's not necessarily like the psychic suit, I would say. It kind of has a bluntness, and it's the most human out of all the suits because when you're thinking about the air signs, you're thinking about the way that they're represented in the zodiac. So you have Libra with the scales and the human, um, Aquarius with the human and water bearer, and then Gemini with the twins. And out of all the zodiac signs, these are the zodiac signs that are represented by human people or characteristics. So there is that sense of humanity that can go with it, or humanizing. As I said, there are like sympathetic types of energies that come out with the Ace of Cups and with the Ace of Swords that reflect off of the Joker. It's an interesting energy because the type of expression that it gives, it's definitely specific. So there is that weariness that comes out of it. But with the Queen of Air, the Queen of Swords, she's seen things and um, heard the discussions, and there's a level headed type of energy that comes out of it. It's one of those, I feel like it's the queen that I would say that sees past deception out of all of them. There's a level of perception that seems to be high with this one, so it's I feel like it's not going to be fooled by a fool like a fool thinks everyone is a fool, a scammer thinks everyone is a scammer. I feel like it's treating everything as like an individual, like on an individual basis, as I've mentioned. So I'll read the final oracle cards. Crystal clear intentions, Archangel Michael, be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. Patience, another patience card, Archangel Jopiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize, still they need nurturing and patience. Archangel Michael does come out twice too. It's like following through energy and to stand your ground with it. Breathe, Archangel Raphael. Take several deep breaths and exhale slowly to awaken your energy to release old patterns. And career transition. Archangel Chamuel, your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. And respectively, like one of the visions that I was getting like in the mind of when I was now that I'm doing like the circle of friends and a vision like at the doorway, it's still dark, but there's like a giant angel. So I feel like that is, and I say just giant because I've said in other videos that when I see beings, they're typically larger. So that's one of the ways that I can see or sense you. Again, you can see past what you're looking at in a way, because sometimes things try to deceive you, but it was like an angel that was peering. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in another video. And uh, I'll say this here, glory to the heroes, glory to Ukraine.